You're Googling best homeschool curriculum at 11 p.m. again, tabs multiplying like rabbits, and you still have no idea what you're supposed to buy. You just want someone to tell you what to do. But here's the truth nobody's saying. Curriculum isn't your real problem, and that Google search, it's sending you down the wrong rabbit hole entirely. Every new homeschool mom does this. We all start in the same place, overwhelmed, terrified we'll mess up our kids, desperately searching for the right answer. But starting with curriculum is like trying to build a house by shopping for furniture first. You end up with a beautiful couch that doesn't fit through the door of a home you haven't even designed yet. When I first started homeschooling, I did exactly what you're doing right now. I thought of the people I knew who were homeschooling. I contacted them and I replicated what they were doing. I didn't stop to think about whether their family looked like mine, whether their kids learned like mine, or whether I, as the mom doing the teaching, could actually sustain what they were doing. I just assumed that if it worked for them, it would work for me. That assumption cost me over $3,000 in curriculum that I barely used. It cost me peace, it cost me confidence, and it nearly cost me my decision to keep homeschooling at all. So in this video, I'm going to save you from making the same mistakes I did. I'm going to show you the 3 things you actually need to figure out before you ever open a curriculum catalog. And when you do finally choose curriculum, you'll know exactly why it fits your family. Not because some Facebook group told you it was the best, but because you've done the real work that makes the decision clear. Choose your values first, because curriculum can't tell you what matters. You have to choose your values before you choose your curriculum. And I don't mean vague things like, I want my kids to love learning. I mean the deep, clarifying questions about what you're actually trying to build in your home. When I sit down with a new homeschool mom, the very first thing I ask is, tell me about your family. What's most important to you? At the end of this first year, what would you really like to see happen? And you'd be surprised how many moms have never been asked this question. They've been told what curriculum to buy, what method to follow. They've been told what co-op to join, but nobody's asked them what they actually want for their family. A lot of times, the answer isn't even about academics. It's about restoring confidence and instilling the love of learning, rebuilding a relationship that was damaged in traditional school, or helping a child feel safe again, creating a positive, peaceful environment. These are not things that a curriculum can do for you. These are the foundations that curriculum is supposed to serve. Your values determine everything else. If your primary goal this year is to restore your child's confidence after a rough experience in public school, then a rigorous classical program that feels like school at home will not produce, no matter how highly recommended it is. But if your goal is to prepare your child for a specific academic path and you thrive on structure, that same program might be perfect. Here's what I tell every mom. You can have the fanciest, most expensive, most recommended curriculum in the world. And if it doesn't align with your family's values and your season of life, it will make you miserable. And a curriculum that makes you miserable is sure to make your kids miserable too. And miserable homeschooling defeats the entire purpose of why you pulled them out in the first place. The mistake most moms make is they let curriculum dictate their values instead of the other way around. They see a beautiful program and think, well, I guess this is what we're supposed to care about now. No, you decide what matters. Then you find the tools that serve that mission. Understanding your lifestyle and limits, because burnout isn't a curriculum problem. You have to understand your own lifestyle and your own limits, not your friends, not the Instagram homeschool mom with the perfect morning basket, yours. This is the question most homeschool moms skip entirely, and it's the one that determines whether you'll still be homeschooling 6 months from now. Are you working full-time, part-time? What do your daily activities actually look like? What all are you juggling? Sports, therapy appointments, a home business? Do you have aging parents you're caring for? All of that matters when you're choosing how to educate your children. I also ask, how do you thrive as an individual? Do you need a structured, planned out day where you know exactly what's happening at 9 a.m.? Or do you need flexibility because your toddler naps at random times and your work calls can pop up unexpectedly? There is no right answer, but there is a true answer for you, and ignoring it will wreck your homeschool. Here's a real example. I worked with a busy mom of 2 boys. She works from home, has a packed schedule, but she wanted to be intentional about serving her family and doing homeschool well. The curriculum everyone in her co-op was using required daily read-alouds, hands-on projects, and about 3 hours of focused teaching time. Sounds beautiful, right? Except she didn't have 3 uninterrupted hours. She had 45-minute pockets between work calls and errands. That curriculum wasn't bad. It just wasn't built for her life. Once we customized her plan around her real schedule, she went from overwhelmed and ready to quit to confident and at peace. And here's the part nobody talks about. Your limits are real, and they're not a moral failing. If you are working, you cannot homeschool the same way as a stay-at-home mom with no other responsibilities. If you have a child with special needs, you cannot do the same homeschool as someone whose kids are all neurotypical and self-motivated. If you are in survival mode with a newborn, you can't homeschool the same as someone whose youngest is 10 years old. And all of that is okay. In fact, it's more than okay. This is wisdom. The curriculum that nearly burned me out in our year 2, it wasn't a bad curriculum. It was a beautiful, rigorous, classical program, but it required me to lead hour-long discussions, prep elaborate projects, and keep up with memory work for multiple subjects. I had young kids. I was exhausted. I didn't have the margin for that level of intensity. The problem wasn't the curriculum. The problem was that I chose it without considering my own reality. You don't need to be superhuman to homeschool. You need to be honest. Honest about what you can realistically do, and honest about what will make you want to keep going instead of quitting in frustration. Understand your own learning philosophy. The primary educator, not just the kids. You have to understand your own learning philosophy, not your child's learning style, yours. How do you, as the teacher, as the educator, as the person carrying this entire operation, how do you actually learn and teach best? Yes, it's important that we understand how our kids are wired and how they learn best. But if we, as the mom, as the primary person teaching them, don't also understand our own learning philosophy and the best way that we teach and learn, we get burned out really quick. And I don't just mean burnt out like I need a weekend off. I mean burnt out like I'm questioning whether I can keep doing this at all. So when I talk about understanding your learning philosophy as the mom, I'm not talking about kinesthetic, auditory, or visual. I'm talking about what's the environment you learn best in. Do you thrive with a detailed lesson plan that's laid out step by step, or does that feel suffocating? Do you love spontaneous, interest-led exploration, or does that make you anxious because you're not sure if you're covering everything? Do you need structure, or do you need flexibility? This is where understanding the different homeschool philosophies become incredibly helpful. The main ones you'll hear about are classical, traditional, Charlotte Mason, unschooling, Montessori, unit studies, and eclectic, which means you're blending a little bit of everything. And here's the good news. You don't have to pick just one. You can mix them. You can use different philosophies for different kids or different subjects. You can change your approach as your family grows and changes. But you need to understand what each one requires from you as the teacher. Let me give you a quick breakdown. Classical education follows the trivium. That's grammar stage, logic stage, rhetoric stage. It's rigorous, systematic, and requires a lot of teacher-led instruction. Charlotte Mason is built around living books, nature studies, short lessons, and a restful approach that focuses on the whole person, not just academics. It's also rooted in classical ideas, but it feels a little bit less intense. Traditional looks like what you'd see in regular school: textbooks, workbooks, structured schedules. Unschooling is child-led, interest-based, with no set curriculum or schedule. Montessori emphasizes on long, uninterrupted work blocks with hands-on sensory-based materials and independent learning. Unit studies mean you're focusing all subjects around one theme or topic at a time. And eclectic just means you're pulling from multiple philosophies and doing what works best for your family. Now, here's why this matters so much for you. I started with classical because it's what the only homeschooler I knew was doing. She was part of Classical Conversations, which is a co-op, and they use this curriculum exclusively. So that's where I started. And honestly, I did fall in love with the trivium. It made sense to me. It's a beautiful, logical model. But as time went on and I learned more about Charlotte Mason and I learned more about myself, I realized her approach was also built on classical foundations, but it was a little bit more restful. It gave my family time to actually be together, to enjoy beautiful literature, to learn from history without feeling like a slog. It didn't feel as rigorous or pressured. And we got to devour really great books as a family. I can usually determine the best philosophy philosophy for a mom pretty quickly based on just a few things she tells me. If she says, I need to know exactly what we're doing every day or I feel lost, she's probably going to thrive with something more structured like classical or traditional. If she says, I want my kids to fall in love with learning and I want our homeschool to feel peaceful and rich and not stressful, Charlotte Mason may be a great fit. If she says, I have very limited time and I need my kids to work independently most of the day, Montessori or self-paced traditional program might be the answer. If she says, I just want to follow my kids' interests and let them explore, unschooling could work beautifully if she's wired for that level of flexibility. But here's the key. Just because a philosophy worked for someone else doesn't mean it will work for you. I know moms who thrive with the structure of classical conversations. I also know moms who tried it and felt like they were drowning because it required too much prep, too much performance from both mom and the kids. Neither mom is wrong. They're just wired differently. And that's the whole point of this step. You're not trying to find the best homeschool philosophy. You're trying to find the one that fits how you operate, how you teach, how you sustain this over the long haul. Because curriculum is just paper, but your mental health, your confidence, and your ability to keep showing up for your kids, that's what actually makes homeschooling work. Curriculum isn't the whole story. It's just paper. I know this sounds strange coming from someone who owns a curriculum bookstore, but curriculum isn't the whole story. In fact, it's barely half of the story. Here's the truth. I want you to flourish in your homeschool, and that doesn't happen because you bought the fanciest workbook. It happens when you build the kind of home where learning feels natural, where curiosity is safe, where your kid actually wants to think and explore. Everything else, it's just paper. A curriculum doesn't create passion. It doesn't make your child fall in love with math or history or science. Sometimes, honestly, often, your student discovers the subject despite the curriculum, not because of it. They find a library book and it clicks. A conversation sparks something. A random question leads them down a rabbit hole of learning that no workbook could have planned. That's real education. And no amount of money spent on curriculum can manufacture that. So if your curriculum is doing all the thinking for you, if it's mostly busy work, if it's asking way more than is realistic for your family, if it's pretty to look at but thin on real substance, if it's so expensive you feel obligated to finish every single page even though it's making everyone miserable, or if it's making you feel like a failure every time you don't complete a lesson, then maybe, just maybe, it's worth asking, is this serving my family or am I serving it? Because we can absolutely get caught doing too much of the wrong thing. We can chase this idea that more curriculum, more rigor, more of something equals better education. But that's not how it works. More is not better. Right is better. Right for your kid, right for your family, right for this particular season. Good curriculum should guide your thinking, not replace it. It should spark real questions and curiosity. It should position your child to want to learn, not just for school, but for life. It's not about the price tag. It's not about the pretty packaging or what everyone else is using. It's about whether it actually works for your child and your family. And here's the beautiful part. Homeschooling gives you permission to figure all that out. You get to watch how your child learns. You get to try something, adjust, try something else. One year, it's one resource. Next year, maybe something different. Maybe that curriculum that didn't click before suddenly clicks now, or maybe it never will, and that's okay. What an incredible privilege, honestly, to shepherd that whole process. So whatever you choose, and you will choose, be gentle with yourself. Pick peace over perfection. Pick your family's rhythm over keeping up with anyone else's. Because at the end of the day, curriculum is just paper, but the home you're building, the relationships you're strengthening, the confidence you're instilling in your children, that's the real education. And no curriculum can do that for you. If you're sitting here thinking, okay, that makes sense, but I still have no idea where to start, that's exactly why I offer one-on-one curriculum consulting. We sit down together virtually or in person if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we walk through these exact 3 steps: your values, your lifestyle, and your learning philosophy. Then we customize a plan that actually fits your real life, your real kids, and your real budget. You can find the link in the description or come visit me at the Homeschool Hub if you're local. I'd love to walk alongside you and help you feel confident and at peace in your homeschool choices. So let's recap. Before you Google one more curriculum review or ask one more Facebook group what they recommend, do these 3 things first. Choose your values. Get crystal clear on what you're actually trying to build in your home. What matters most to your family? And what does success look like for you? Not in anyone else. Understand your lifestyle and your limits. Be honest about what you can realistically sustain, and stop comparing your homeschool to someone whose life looks nothing like yours. And finally, understand your own learning philosophy as the mom. Figure out how you teach best, what kind of structure or flexibility you need, and which homeschool approach actually fits how you're wired. When you do these three things, curriculum selection becomes so much easier. You're not just picking what's popular, you're picking what serves the home you're intentionally building. And that changes everything. Now, once you've figured out your philosophy and you're ready to start actually looking at curriculum, there's a whole other set of mistakes moms make that cost them thousands of dollars and months of frustration. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through the biggest curriculum shopping mistakes I see moms make and how I avoid every single one of them. Now that you understand the three things you need to figure out before you start shopping for a curriculum, you need to know what to do when you're ready to buy. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if this video helped you, share it with another homeschool mom who's drowning in Google searches right now. She needs to hear this.